Tennessee Republican Representative Sheila Butt, that's her name, proposed a bill to push back the historical teaching of Islam in Tennessee schools because she fears indoctrination. She's not alone with this either. She says, quote, "I think that probably the teaching that is going on right now in 7th, 8th grade is not age appropriate. They are not able to discern a lot of times whether it's indoctrination or whether they're learning about what a religion teaches. Parents made similar complaints saying the curriculum focused more on Islam than any other religion and bordered on, quote, indoctrination." And then if it wasn't clear enough for you, Representative Marsha Blackburn said the following, "There is a big difference between education and indoctrination." So think about the argument that they're making. They genuinely believe that in Tennessee public schools, the kids are being indoctrinated into the religion of Islam. Oh, spare me. How ridiculous are you? You know what I think this shows? Insecurity in their own religion. It's almost like they know on some level that their religion is bullshit and their mythology is nonsense. So they don't want other mythologies and other bullshit beliefs to be indoctrinated in their kids. So whenever you discuss it in any way, shape, or form, they get jealous. Like, don't discuss that, even if it's equally. Don't discuss it. Don't discuss it. It's like a jealous boyfriend who, if the girlfriend in any context with her friends has a conversation about what the ex was like, he's like, "What are you doing? I don't know. Do you still like him? Did he indoctrinate you to believe that he's the one? What's happening here? I'm kind of jealous and I'm kind of insecure." It's so sad. It's so pathetic. And how can anybody really believe that? Tennessee public schools are indoctrinating kids into Islam. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. If there was ever a place to not get indoctrinated into Islam, it'd be Tennessee public schools. In fact, I want to check that curriculum to make sure it's not over-the-top negative about Islam, where they only teach negative shit and they don't teach any of the positive shit. And remember, guys, so when it comes to secularism, I'm the biggest advocate of secularism. The name of the show is SecularTalk. We're talking here about historical teaching of religion. That includes Christianity, too. So if you're teaching history about religions, you absolutely have to teach the history of Christianity. You have to teach everything that goes into it, the good and the bad. Same thing with Islam, same thing with the other major religions. You absolutely need to do that. It only becomes a problem when you try to shove your religion down other people's throat. You try to force it on them via law or indoctrinate them. And the thing is, that's what the Christians really do in Tennessee. They're the ones indoctrinating people. They're the ones forcing their beliefs down other people's throats. So this is how it manifests, where they think they're challenging our dominance and they're challenging the fact that we want to do our theocracy, so we're against it. And we're going to say kids are being indoctrinated in Tennessee public schools into Islam. How many people have they successfully converted? I'm curious. Can you tell me, you got any numbers on that? And then finally, nobody should be surprised by any of this because the lawmaker Sheila Butt, who still has a really funny name, made headlines in February when she said, quote, "It's time for a council on Christian relations and an NAAWP in this country." So, obviously, what she's referring to there's the Council on American and Islamic Relations, CARE, Muslim civil rights group in America. She thinks they're oh so powerful that we need to do that for Christians, because Christians are so fucking oppressed in America. Over 70% of the population, the overwhelming majority of the legislators, but we're oppressed, we're oppressed. So she wants to do that to, again, shove her religion down your throat. And the NAAWP would be the National Association blah, 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 white people. So copying the NAACP and doing it for white people. You know, there was an organization that stood up primarily and solely for rights, and they were against the other groups in America. What's their name again? Oh, KKK. That organization exists. You want to go join it? Go join it. Now, I know when people bring that up, when I bring that up, people get angry at me. But the reality is context matters. In the United States of America, historically, when people advocate for the rights of blacks, it's the civil rights movement, and they're at a significant disadvantage in the system, so advocating for black rights is an attempt to make it equal. When we're talking about white people screaming about the rights of white people in a country that's already majority white, and you already have your rights, what you're trying to do here is, so here's the disparity, black people, white people in society. Clearly what you're trying to do is get even more, be their overlords, become further ahead in this game, try to rig the system against them. It's not all equal to begin with. If it were all equal to begin with, then yes, you can advocate for white rights, they can advocate for black rights, and hopefully you guys have the same amount of rights at the end of the day. But it's not equal to begin with. They're already at a disadvantage. So when you scream about white rights, it's just as scary as if you're in Turkey, a Turkish group marching through an Armenian area saying, you know, Turkish rights, we're fighting for Turkish rights. What followed that again? Oh, right, the Armenian genocide. You know, it's same as in Turkey, marching through Kurdish areas and saying, Turkish rights are the ones that matter. We need to fight for Turkish rights. Well, you already have them. That's the point. You have them. The people you're screaming it in the face of, they don't have their rights yet. At least not fully equal to your rights. So that's the problem with it, is it's not already equal. If it were already equal, then fine. Advocate for white rights. They can advocate for black rights, whatever. But it's not equal to begin with. That's the point.